So, you're thinking about moving to Palm Coast, Florida, but you want to know the truth about the NAR settlement that you're hearing a lot about in the news? That's exactly what we're going to cover in this video. If that sounds like something you're interested in, then stick around because we're going to get after it right now. Hi, my name is Stephanie Schulis with Real Broker. Thanks so much for joining us today. If this is your first time to the channel, please make sure to tap the button below to subscribe, hit that bell for notifications so you can be the first to be notified every time we put out brand new content all about Palm Coast, Florida living and moving to Palm Coast, Florida and the surrounding areas. We get calls, texts, and emails from people just like you looking to make the move to Palm Coast every day, and we absolutely love it. So, whether you're thinking about moving in the next 9 days or 90 days, give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, and we'll do everything we can to help you make a smooth move to Palm Coast, Florida. There has been a lot of misinformation in the media over real estate commissions. So, I wanted to take a few minutes to kind of talk about some of the facts. The national conversation around real estate commissions reached a crescendo since the National Association of Realtors, that's NAR, announced a settlement agreement that would resolve litigation brought on behalf of home sellers related to broker commissions. There's much the media has gotten wrong about NAR's settlement, which would require the association to pay 418 million over the next 4 years. Some outlets have suggested that NAR previously set or guided commissions to a standard rate of 6%. Even President Joe Biden in recent comments misspoke, suggesting that this settlement makes commissions negotiable for the first time. That's just false. NAR does not set commissions. All commissions were negotiable long before the settlement. They are and will remain entirely negotiable between brokers and their clients. And housing prices are dictated by market forces beyond real estate agents and NAR's control. So the settlement isn't changing what commissions can be charged, but it is changing two ways that real estate agents are going to need to do their business. The first is that NAR agreed to create a new MLS, that's the multiple listing service rule, prohibiting offers of compensation on the MLS. This would mean that offers of compensation could not be communicated via an MLS, but they could continue to be an option consumers could pursue off MLS through negotiation and consultation with real estate professionals. So what does that mean? Right now, when a seller sits down with their selling agent and negotiates commission, because it has always been negotiable, say they do agree to 6%, where that list agent would keep 3% for themselves and then offer the buyer's agent 3%. That that payment for the buyer's agent gets put into the MLS. So the agent knows about it ahead of time. That information is also available on third-party sites like Zillow and things like that, so that buyers can also see how much their agent is getting paid. That's going to change. It is no longer going to be allowed to be displayed in the MLS. That does not mean that the sellers cannot still offer it. And in my opinion, sellers should still offer it. Buyers have a lot of costs, especially if they're financing a deal and their closing costs. And many of them are not going to be able to come up with an additional 2-3% to pay their agent. So, what that means is that buyers may only want to see homes where the sellers are paying their agent. If you're not going to be offering a buyer agent commission, your home might not get the showings that it should get otherwise. So, something to consider as a seller. As a buyer, if you are one of the many who are not going to want to pay an agent, You have the option of focusing on homes that will offer to pay the commission or going at it alone without representation, and likely going at it alone without representation against a real estate agent, which could set you at a disadvantage. So you're definitely going to want to talk things through with your agent to figure out how to work through this new way of commissions being discussed and paid. Um, exactly how that's going to work hasn't quite been settled yet. That's still up for debate, and we're going to kind of have to see how it gets going. When this rule goes into effect in July, it's likely going to be a little bit bumpy for a short period as that one piece kind of works itself out and gets going. The conversations that I am having with sellers are understanding the benefits of paying for buyer commission. And in this area, when I'm talking to other agents and again, the sellers, I don't think we're going to see a big change in those payments. It's just how those payments are advertised and discussed. The second rule coming out of this settlement, the second change coming out of the settlement is that NAR agreed to create a new rule requiring MLS participants working with buyers to enter into written agreements with their buyers before the buyer tours a home. NAR has long encouraged its members to use written agreements to help consumers understand exactly what services and value they provide and for how much. This is something I've been doing for a while. And it's in the past when I've talked about it around commission, it's been specifically talking about for sale by owners. So those are things that are already, without a real estate agent, without MLS. And I was saying that if I am not able to negotiate for the sellers to pay my commission, you, Mr. and Miss Buyer, have to agree to pay at this price, and here we go. And again, that would give buyers the option to say, you know what? I don't even want to look at FSBOs, or if a FSBO won't pay you, I don't want the house. So that was primarily how that conversation went then. Now it's a little bit more clear, and it's just across the board. If the seller is not paying the commission, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, here's how much commission I charge that you would be responsible for paying. And then they would say, don't want to see homes where the sellers aren't paying, or they'd say, okay, or they can try and negotiate that rate as well. Because again, commissions have and always have been negotiable. So that's really the only two changes that the settlement is issuing. The results of this settlement, I've seen the headline saying that they're going to drastically reduce home price. I'm not sure that that's going to happen, certainly not drastically. It's not saying that the days of 6% commission are gone. It's never been a set commission. It's not saying that that buyers don't have access to it, that sellers aren't going to pay commissions, any of that. The settlement, there are three things that come out of the settlement. NAR has to pay a lot of money to some folks. MLS is no longer going to allow commissions to be displayed. And now buyer agents and their buyers have to sign a document that outlines expectations of each and discusses payment upfront. Not big issues for me in terms of how I have been practicing as a real estate agent. Not big changes for how a lot of good agents that I know have been practicing. If you have any questions or concerns about how this may impact you and your move to Palm Coast, please feel free to leave a comment below. You can always reach out to me directly, give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email, 386-227-6585, Stephanie@shoelesshomes.com. We always love hearing from you, and we know that this is going to be a big topic and probably a confusing one given the misinformation in the headlines. You can reach out at any time. We love hearing from you. That's it for this video. We'll see you on the next one.